Most of us still remember our next guest as Archie Bunker. Yet the 67-year-old New York actor has proven his adeptness now in another Emmy Award-winning role in the highly rated In the Heat of the Night, filmed right here in Georgia. If you wander down 45 minutes south of Atlanta to Covington to see Carroll O'Connor, you might just happen upon other stars from the galaxy of Hollywood.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. That's what I've always wanted. Town Hall of Covington.
The master of Dallas's South Fork, Larry Hagman, was in Georgia celebrating his birthday. He had just that morning completed directing an episode of In the Heat of the Night, the series for which Carroll O'Connor serves as executive producer, star, and writer. For the two old friends this day, the emphasis was on old.
Ken, I've just got some contact lenses. Would you read it for me? Or we can hire somebody to read it for us.
For the past 4 years, the unassuming community of Covington has been visited by a steady stream of Hollywood's royalty, as it serves as the filming location for the very successful series. The Georgia Film Commission conservatively guesses the show has pumped nearly $6 million into the Georgia economy.
That's very good.
And the due, in big part, goes to the character actor who first came to the nation's attention as an endearing but enraging blue-collar bigot.
I mean, if God had meant us to be together, he'd have put us together. Well, look what he's done. He put you over in Africa. He put the rest of us in all the white countries.
It was very nearly canceled the first few weeks on the air for its outrageous, ahead-of-its-time humor and uncommentary. But by the summer of '71, it was the #1 show on television. It stayed at the top for 5 years and on network TV for over a decade.
What's in the name, anyhow, huh? In my day, nobody went around calling themselves Chicanos, Mexican-Americans, Afro-Americans. We was all Americans. After that, if a guy was a jig or a spick, it was his own business.
Do you always have to label people? Why can't you just get a lawyer? Why does it have to be a Jewish lawyer?
Because when I'm going to sue a neighbor, I'm going to get a guy that's full of hate.
O'Connor was so convincing as bombastic, blatantly racist Bunker, it seemed at the time impossible that he could be anybody but Archie. But along came the opportunity to remake the Academy Award-winning In the Heat of the Night. And now O'Connor has convinced viewers of his versatility as Sheriff Bill Gillespie, who finds himself battling evil in what appears to be the crime capital of the free world, the fictional town of Sparta, Mississippi. We spoke to O'Connor in a Covington cemetery, the setting for one of the shows. And he said they don't have to exaggerate the crime rate much for the sake of drama.
Some horrendous crimes taking place that we don't even want to touch in these little towns.
O'Connor's goal with the show was to absorb the feel and sounds of the South. That's why he's on location in Georgia rather than on a Los Angeles soundstage where most series television is produced. One recent storyline touches on a topic which has stirred controversy in a number of small southern towns, including Covington. O'Connor's chief, Gillespie, and one of the town's councilwomen, who is black, have struck up a flirtatious friendship.
I'm crazy about you.
So the possibility of an interracial romance on In the Heat of the Night is a real probability.
It's not a romance. Unfortunately, it can't be a romance.
Why?
It wouldn't happen. As you say yourself, it wouldn't happen in the South even today between these two people. A lot of people say, well, that's a shame if they're crazy about each other.
You may have read or seen the problems that they had at the local high school when black young men were dating white women. And in this particular show, could this not be a way to heal wounds, or is that the role of television, this particular show, to help change social mores?
I don't think it's the role of television to change people's minds about things, mainly because I don't think that television or movies or theater can do that. Because if you preach in the theater, you bore your audience.
Yet in the comedy that made Carroll O'Connor a household name, many would argue the show was trying to send messages, and some critics and sociologists feared the wrong messages were sent. Do you ever worry that Archie was endearing to people so that you would in turn would admire and emulate him?
Never worried about it at all. a lot of other people worried about it. I always felt, I'm going to play this man as I know him to be, and just let the chips fall where they may.
On first impression, it's hard to imagine that the well-educated cosmopolitan O'Connor had any personal traits to draw on for either the boisterous Bronx Archie or the demure, slow-of-speech Southern sheriff in The Heat of the Night. How much, or is there any of Gillespie that is really Carroll O'Connor? Did you take any of Carroll and stick him in there?
Yeah, you always do. Use a lot of yourself for anything you play. I brought a lot of myself to my first, to Archie Bunker.
You did?
Oh, yes.
The bluffing and roughing.
Yes, in an emotional way I did. I think I brought a lot of myself. I had very little in common with Archie on a social level, but...
Do you still do any Archie-isms? Or can you give us an Archie attitude? Do you remember back that far?
What do you want to bring that up?
I'm expecting to see Meathead walk in at any moment.
Yeah.
For his 13 years as Archie, as well as for his continued contributions to television and film, O'Connor was invited into his profession's most exclusive club. The honors were done by Gene Stapleton.
The Television Academy is proud, without prejudice of any kind, to bestow membership in the Hall of Fame on Carroll O'Connor.
You were inducted into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame, and you were unable to go because you were recovering from your heart surgery.
Yes, sort of.
Sort of. And what else did you have done besides 6 vessels?
6 bypasses of the arteries and gallbladder.
Did you make deals with God when you were in there sick?
I didn't. I offered some deals. I guess they were picked up.
What did you offer? What did you trade him for?
Bring me through this, Lord, and I'll do this and that and the other thing. So I guess.
Have you kept your promises?
Yes, I hope so. I hope so. Mm.
What did you resolve to do seriously about your work hours, about your diet, about exercise, or did you after that bad health bout?
Well, I just resolved to be more sensible about diet. Yeah, I naturally give up smoking, which I had done for 50 years.
Have you succeeded really, or do you have a cigar every now and then?
No, I haven't had a breath of tobacco since the night before the operation, which was more than 3 years ago. No?
You've been good.
Yeah, but you know, there are times when I feel like lighting one up. I think it'll always be that way.
Did surgery and that whole bout where you had to slow down make you a, quote, as one of the people we talked to said, a kindler and gentler Carroll O'Connor, that you're not as gruff, as impatient as you used to be?
I thought I better not lose my temper. But then somebody told me that's not a very good thing to do. You should lose your temper. Go back to doing that. So I get advice on both sides.
So you do a little of both?
No, I try the first way. As Howard Rollins says, chill out, chill out, chill out.
Your wife of 40 years is here with you in LaGrange. What does Nancy bring to you that you can get nowhere else?
40 years. And all that implies.
Your son is 27?
29.
29. And he is on the show. It's Mr. Jameson, Deputy Jameson. Did you in any way try to discourage him from going into acting?
No. I did everything to drag him into it. And he kind of came into it kicking and screaming, but he's very good.
So have you and your wife started on him? So when are you going to get married and we can have grandchildren?
Yes. That's right. We do. Because he's the only one we have. The grandchildren have to be his issue, but he's become irritated with this kind of questioning, so I lay off now.
At 67, a lot of people are kicking back. You are working 13-hour days. You are pushing yourself. When do you say, enough already, and stop and rest?
I say it every day. I don't know why I'm doing it. I don't know why I'm doing it. Habit.
The In the Heat of the Night cast and crew wrapped up their filming for this season in November, but they left behind something. O'Connor and the cast recorded a CD called Christmas Time's A-Comin'. The proceeds from this are to go to drug prevention. Check your local record stores.